Hello everyone, this is I am Sagar Shah streaming from Kolkata, and today we are live here to see a very interesting matchup, which is Caruana with the white pieces playing against Magnus Carlsen in round 8 of the World Championship match. Now the important thing for all of you to tell me is whether you can hear my voice properly or whether you can listen to what I'm saying right now. We have a very special guest who will be joining us in a bit, but before that you will have to tell me if this is all the sound and everything is okay. Okay, so we have a lot of people who have arrived here. Padmini Raut, the national champion of India, is here, and she says the sound is fine. Shlok Dikshit, Universal Chess, Santosh Munde. So everyone can hear us well, and so this might be the right time to welcome our guest. But before I welcome him, I would like you all to guess who he is. Of course, if you read the title of this video, it's very apparent, but still. Okay, so the person who's going to join us is former Asian champion, 6-time national champion of India, is one of the strongest grandmasters of our country, and also I would say the little known fact about him, because it's not so public, he is for me one of the best annotators or commentators in the chess world. So yes, as all of you say, Surya Sekhar Ganguly, let's invite him to the studio. Surya, okay, you have to join me here. So
hey guys,
how are you, Surya?
I'm good. How are you, Sagar?
Wonderful. Right now we are at Surya's place in Kolkata, and Surya, the World Championship match is heating up, you can say. 7 rounds have been completed. Today the 8th game is going on. What's your take on it?
I'm very happy to see an open Sicilian to start with. Yeah,
Today, yes.
yeah. Finally, tired of this Rosolimo and Petrov, and yeah, I'm looking forward for a very complex and nice battle.
But are you enjoying the World Championship, or are you amongst those people who say, oh, it's too boring?
It's never boring. I mean, if you understand, it's not boring. If you don't understand, then it is boring, of course.
Yeah, so like people who keep on saying like 7 draws, it doesn't matter if they draw, it's fighting chess.
Absolutely. I mean, actually, it gets more fighting when it is completely equal. Then they're like really fighting more.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and this is what I saw, the trend, that once they reach an equal position, they are sort of starting to fight a little bit more.
right. I mean, they're not giving up. I mean, it's not no easy draws at all.
Exactly. So we will be taking a lot of questions from the audience here, but before that we will go through the game. Until now I think around 14 odd moves have been completed. A lot of people are commenting here, so you know we will take the questions only when I say that now you can write your questions, because it would be impossible to go through the chat completely. But it's wonderful to see that nearly we have more than 130 people, 140 people here. So Surya, let's start with the game. E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, and you were very happy to see.
I was very happy to see
D4.
Open Sicilian. Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking, when was the last time we had Open Sicilian in a World Championship match? It's already difficult to recall. Yeah.
I think Anand Carlsen, definitely the Khan game.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was the last one, yeah?
Yeah. And Sveshnikov, of course, girlfriend played.
Yes, he played
yeah.
a lot of Sveshnikov. And so we had this move E5. And what's your take on Sveshnikov? Have you played it ever with black?
Sometimes, not in recent times, but sometimes once in a while I play Sveshnikov. But yeah, always the block has been Rosolimo, and now you know that people also go for the different move order, like what Vidit is doing, yeah? Like this knight c6 and e6.
How does that go?
Well, knight f3 e6. This is how often Vidit is playing. D4, takes, knight f6, knight c3, and now knight c6. So, well, the point is, okay, of course, after knight db5, after knight b5, d6, you sort of transpose into Sveshnikov anyway, but in this process, you avoid Rosolimo. But then on the other hand, of course, you allow, very long theory in such areas. Vidit actually had this with both colors, from white and black. So
Yes, I remember that here it's something like you go this and then you go with your knight
yeah, I mean
here.
it's big theory. Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's absolutely not related to the World Championship match game. So probably you can get to the game.
So d4, and here we had e5, knight db5, d6.
I think this was the first important moment where knight d5 was played instead of the normal bishop g5.
Yes, the funny thing is, I was training the blind team this year, the visually challenged team, and one of the players who was playing with white, his opponent was playing the Sveshnikov. And I said, there's no time to prepare the theory or something, but knight d5 is like a move which has no real theory. You just put your knight there and then play simply, like a queenside pawn, start pushing it.
At some level, yes, but you do understand what you're saying.
But knight d5 not the most critical, yes, or?
I mean, have a look at the game already. When this position, when Caruana played bishop d2, I think it's heavy preparation already.
Okay. So I would just like to mention that bishop g5 is the main move here,
of course, yeah.
with long theory, and knight d5 you are threatening
Knight
a
c7,
check
yeah,
here,
sure.
so
So
you
take is
must
forced.
take.
And now, yeah, I mean, there are knight e7 and knight b8, but knight b8 is the main move, of course. Well, when I was a kid, sometimes I played knight d5, and I used to, hope that after knight e7, c4, if somebody plays a6, and queen a4 sort of wins the game.
Yes.
So this was my when I used to play knight d5 in my childhood. This used to be one of the cute traps.
If you have some kind of a puzzle like this, we should ask the audience. But okay, this was easy.
They will laugh at me if I, in a World Championship match, if I start showing 7 move traps.
Okay, but this has happened many times with
In my games also. I mean, it is not in base, but those when I was like 6 or 7 years old or whatever, 10 years old, I was doing this.
Yes. Sorry to show this, but
Thank
it looks pretty.
Thank you, Sagar.
So
Knight b8.
Knight b8.
Now a4. They have played c4. C4, a6, knight c3 is one direction. I mean, not necessarily a6 here, but well, at some point. And a4 is also quite popular.
Okay.
So
This was played in the game.
this was played in the game. Okay, you can play a6 here or at any point of time. Black went bishop e7. All natural move, and black is sort of delaying a6.
Why is he delaying a6? Any particular reason?
Well, I mean, the knight on b5 is not particularly threatening anything. It's also a bit empty. White, what that knight is doing at the moment, sitting at b5. So black is not in a rush to chase it.
Right.
But I think the most interesting moment is here, yeah, after knight d7. It's not the most obvious move that comes into mind, which is bishop d2.
And for a layman, it seems like completely pointless, because I would put bishop on e3.
Right, right. So what do you think? What is the point of bishop d2?
So if I had to do this, and let's say if f5, then I would go f4 and something like this. I don't know if this is the best, but
right. Well, here maybe you could take on a7, yeah. So you have to play a6 at some point, yeah.
And then maybe and then
instead
f5.
of f5. Yeah.
But okay, now that you have asked me the question, bishop d2, what is the point?
Well, first of all, bishop d2 was it was played by Oparin twice,
Okay.
and yeah, the point is I think white wants to keep the knight on a3. So this is the idea. So let's say if you play f5, which happened in the game,
Yeah.
and now I can play a5, and after a6 I can come back to a3, which was not possible if the bishop was not on b2.
Ooh, that's a
Bishop
nice
on-
point.
bishop
Because
on b2.
otherwise the a5 pawn was hanging.
Exactly so. So this is in my I mean that's how I'm looking into it. That bishop d2, the main idea is to have the knight on a3, which means one move earlier also had black played a6. Of course, white would have played knight a3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here.
So bishop d2 has an idea that you are preparing a5, and at the same time you can put your bishop to b4, suppose, or not really.
Well, yeah, I mean bishop b4 I would not rush. First I would like to play a5, you know, giving some threats on queen side, and once black plays a6, come back knight a3, and then get knight c4, bishop, then go bishop b4, yeah.
Okay. So if I were black and I say I sense your plan, I go a6.
I come knight a3.
You come back and I play something like b6 to stop a5 basically.
Yeah, but this is not exactly what do you would like to do, you know, because I'm going to play anyway on queen side. There are a number of ideas. What comes right? Like I can play a5 here, for instance.
Okay.
So if you take, I play, and now I play c4. So I'm not sure if you are, you know, really helping.
I
Yes,
think
you
I
are sort of
helped
helping.
you.
Yeah, you sort of helped me.
I helped you to
Because I need-
open
yeah.
queen side.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the ideas. I mean, clearly there could be some other ways also, but I'm pretty sure b6 is not something that you want to play. You would actually want to play on king side, yeah,
Yes.
and center.
So that explains Carlsen's choice.
f5, which is very, very natural.
And after a5, a6,
And now knight a3, yeah.
and now the pawn is not hanging on a5, and e4 was played.
I would imagine knight c4. It's very difficult to think of any other move here.
So if you look at this position, whom would you prefer? This is, I think, the current situation on the board. I'm
Is
not
it still
sure.
blitzing, Fabiano?
There are a few more moves that have happened.
Oh, okay.
But here you prefer some side, or?
Well, I mean, optically at this moment I like white, but it's also those typical Sveshnikov kind of thing. Yeah, these pawns can get dangerous. But if you ask me to pick a color, I would probably pick white. Perfectly aware that you know, the game is dynamically balanced now, and I don't think anybody is better as such. But generally, I would prefer white here.
Okay.
I'll also have this rook a3 kind of ideas if needed. Yeah. So,
Yes, we were coming. By the way, I would like to tell the viewers that we will be taking questions. So I will explicitly say that we will be taking questions, and then you can ask them. But right now we had one question from, if I'm not wrong, Sriram Ganeshan, who said, Rook a3, is it a bad idea? And you mentioned it.
Absolutely not. I mean, I would not play in the very next move, but you know, this is the typical move which I'll have in mind.
Right. So knight c4 was played over here, and after
Knight
that,
e5, yeah.
knight to e5 was played.
Natural. Yeah, and now, well, knight b6 is most logical, but also knight into e5 had to be considered.
So if you take here, take,
But it does look.
it helps sort of black to some extent. Of course, white gets these pawns rolling here, but
Yeah, and also, yeah, I mean, it can really get scary at some point if you know, black gets f4, f3. But I'm pretty sure that this is also doable. My personal choice would be knight b6 for sure.
right. So for example, if this is the position you are thinking in your head, knight into e5, d into e5, I'll be making moves, but on the board you would be sort of thinking in your head, what would you choose as moves for white and black? Like you would start with c4, b4, how would your calculation go?
Well, in this particular position, there are clearly two aspects. Like one is how I'm pushing in the center, and the second aspect is how I'm blocking the king side rolls. Yeah, like black is clearly playing f4 next move. So yeah, it would be nice to come up with a move which sort of stops both, because c4, f4 I'm again not very sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then f3 is coming.
And if you go f3, then e3 is definitely scary.
Yeah, it does look scary. I mean, there is there is a move. Just go back one more. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to play. Move my. Well, rook f4 doesn't make sense. I mean, it stops both f4 and queen d5, but black has just bishop d7.
This is a nice move because f4 means you can take here.
Yeah, and you're sort of stopping queen d5 also. But anyway, it doesn't. This rook on a4, it doesn't belong there because anyway, eventually you'll be playing c4 at some point, and then he'll get
Yes.
f4. Yeah.
But what was black's move that you suggested?
Bishop d7
here?
immediately.
Okay, bishop d7. Yeah, attacks this rook
Yeah.
here.
What could be interesting is to play bishop e3. Go back.
Here.
Yes.
Okay, and then
And then play bishop b6.
and perhaps I move my queen.
Yeah, again it looks very scary, and I would never get it. No, here, yeah, I have d6. You probably have to.
I should have put my queen on d6.
Probably. But then now it's some sort of forcing things. Yeah, like I can play, let's say, f3, e3, c4. Again, I would never get into this position, I would get into this position if I'm prepared, that is knight into e5. And if I get on the board, if I compare this position to knight b6, I would always go for knight b6.
So it would, a lot of home preparation would go into taking such a decision.
And since black did not make a single illogical move so far, I'm pretty sure Fabiano is completely prepared and he knows what he's doing.
Right. So knight went to b6, and this is natural because you are
This is
sort of
yeah, this is very natural.
attacking the rook on a8, and now he went rook to b8, which was followed up with
Threatening f4. So like now black is threatening f4, so something had to be done again.
right. And so white went f4, and after here e into f3 has to be taken.
Yeah, this is clear. Bishop
and
into
bishop
f3.
f3.
And still he's blitzing, yeah?
Yeah, he's right now bishop f3, and now it's Carlsen's move, but I think he is thinking now for black's move.
And Fabiano has not stopped yet. Okay.
B-
So clearly it is.
So Fabiano has 1 hour 40 minutes. He's not used any of his time.
Yeah. No, that is also very natural. Yeah, I mean, you play a move like bishop d2, which has been played, let's say twice at grandmaster level. I'm sure there must be many correspondence games also. And black played every single move, which is very logical and natural. So it is clear that Caruana was expecting this to get on the board.
Right. So before I go into preparation of both the plays, I would like to know your assessment of this position. I know that psychologically Caruana is doing really well now because he's better prepared. But
Right.
objectively, what do you think?
Again, I mean, strategically, I would say white is slightly ahead, yeah? Like, my knight is doing well on b6, that bishop on c8 is not going anywhere. Although the bishop on f3 is somehow it doesn't belong there, but it is also doing its job. Yeah? It played, after f4, e f3, bishop f3, now there will be no kingside attack easily. So, yeah.
A few of our viewers are saying, cannot black just take the double bishop and say
I would be very surprised with this move, knight into f3. First of all, I would take queen into f3. I will be very surprised. I mean, it is of course a move, but then your knight on e5 was so good, and I was actually worried about, the only piece which I was really worried about was this bishop on f3, which was not going anywhere.
right.
So
It's not an exchange you would want from black side.
really, I mean, okay, I don't know what computer says here. Even if computer says knight f3, this is not the move that comes into human mind. I mean, why would you want to give your e5 knight?
Yes.
Which is also, perfectly blocking the e file. So I'd rather imagine you would like to put your bishop on f6 and then slowly, bring your pieces.
I mean, when black had this huge mass of pawns in the center and king side, his plan was simple, push the pawns. But now
Well, even here, I mean, for me, even g5 is a move.
you want to attack, yeah.
Well,
It's your style.
Not only my style. I mean, I don't know if now, but sooner or later, G5 does make a lot of sense. Yeah, you have majority on king side, and you will probably at some point go for that. No, I don't know if here or not, but definitely knight f3 is not a move for me.
Right.
Uh, you know what? Bishop g5 can also be a interesting idea. You want to get rid of this bad bishop, and yeah, I mean it sort of forces. Like now I don't have bishop b4 because you have bishop e3 and bishop b6.
So I'm just going to do some kind of hypothetical moves. Like these are not the best moves I know, but let's imagine something like this happening. This would be dream for black.
This is not happening.
This guy here is like a monster.
Yeah,
And
no, this is clearly not happening. No, bishop g5 is something that I expect to happen.
it's a nice
Bishop-
move, yeah.
It's a normal move, yeah. But of course, white will not take bishop takes g5 here.
Okay.
Uh,
Perhaps c4.
something like that, maybe.
And white's plan is simple, yeah. He wants to go
You
b4
want to play
and
c5.
c5.
Yeah, you want to play c5 at some point.
So that's the current position.
And Magnus is thinking. He played g5. I told you.
G5 was played.
You see?
You had two moves on G5 square, pawn or bishop,
Yeah.
and you thought, okay, world championship match, let's put the bishop, not the
Yeah.
pawn. But well, Magnus is
No, it makes a lot of sense. G5. I mean, all your advantage is on the center and king side. So, and once again, I'll not be surprised if Fabiano blitz his moves. If I was preparing this position on the with computer, these are the only two moves that I would have checked. G5 and bishop g5, nothing else. Nothing else would have bothered me.
right. So G5 is definitely something which Fabiano must have prepared, and if he thinks now and if he's not prepared, that means his preparation is not up to the mark. Yes.
I will be very shocked if g5 was not prepared. I mean, the only explanation could be that computer thinks g5 is not a great move, and it is not in the top 3 or 4 choice. But to a human mind, g5 is such a natural move.
Right. And what would you do as white here now? Because
I
G4
will
does
think.
look like a threat. Yes. Here.
Well, g4 is not a threat immediately because you would like to play g4 when you have f4. If your next move is g4, I play bishop e2, and then you are completely blocked because next I'll play bishop f4, and if I have that grip,
Okay, that's a very important point. So, for example, I'm just making a random move.
I would think f4, not g4.
But if G4, that means that bishop would sit on F4, and this
Yeah.
is better for white.
But you can start with f4, yeah?
So you start here with F4, and it's difficult to stop G4 now.
Yeah, then you are sort of threatening at some point to
And
play
you
g4.
don't like this move.
It's possible. But now, at least if nothing else, you have your bishop, this light square bishop can come to f5, which is a nice square.
Sure. So, for white here, I mean, after G5, it's a question on how to stop F4, F4 G4 idea.
Yeah.
So, G3 is
Very much
a
possible.
possibility because, as
Absolutely.
you said, I'm sort of learning from what you had mentioned that you don't want to get rid of the knight.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
no,
this is not a threat at all.
no, this is never a threat. No, g3 is a very natural move.
And then I know this looks really bad or something, but
I was actually thinking to play h5 first.
H5, yeah?
No, first, yeah, instead of g5.
So you mean to say you're going to give this pawn and then...
Well, my problem is after g4, I cannot reach this bishop somehow. Like, this bishop is trapped, but I don't know how to reach there.
But you got a lot of things, yeah? You get bishop g5, you are threatening knight f3.
Knight f3, I'm not threatening. That
Ah,
part is clear because he'll take rook f3. I'm threatening bishop g5, that is true.
So this move, and if in case, let's say, I'm just making a random move, if white does this, black does this, then white is very happy.
Yeah, no, black is never playing knight f3.
Fantastic.
No, I'm not sure if h5 is the follow-up.
So Sanjeev Gunin says, whom are you supporting?
In this position?
I don't know, in this match.
I'm not supporting anyone actually. I'm just hoping to see some nice games. And yeah, whoever plays better, he will win. As simple as that.
No favorites.
No favorites. And also, it is very difficult to pick a favorite, between 28-32 and 28-35.
Sure. But it seems like a match of equals, yes, until now.
Well, I mean, my personal opinion is Magnus in his best and Caruana in his best. Magnus is still much stronger player.
Okay.
I mean, that is my personal opinion. No offense against Fabi. But if both players are at their peak, then I feel Magnus is stronger. But on the other hand, psychologically, I think right now Fabi is much more determined and motivated because this is the first time he can actually become world champion. Whereas for Magnus, it's like nothing new.
Yes.
So
I mean, you can imagine, let's say, we always say about Vishy, who was the world champion from 2007 onwards till 2012.
right,
Yeah, 5 years. And Magnus has already been 5 years, 2013 to 18.
exactly.
It doesn't seem like 5 years.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
And so for him, it's like fourth time he would be the world champion, while for Fabi, it's the first time. That does play a role. So I would definitely now want to open the floor for people to ask questions to Surya, different questions. Of course, we are going to be online until 10 p.m. So I think we have a good feel of what's going on right now. G5 was played, and yes,
C4 was
Fabi did blitz out his move C4.
So this is a typical move which you would never play quickly if you're not prepared. I mean, imagine the guy plays G5, is threatening to roll his pawns on queen side. You simply ignore, you say nothing is going on, you play C4, which actually means that you have it covered.
Yes.
Because otherwise you will be scared of, all sorts of F4 and G4.
I would play, let's say now,
Let's say F4, yeah, this is the, let's try to figure out what he has in mind. But F4, what is the threat? So next you want to play G4 and after bishop E4, probably to play F3, but even that is not clear.
Correct. I think even here just bishop E4 should be good, yeah? To
stop bishop F5.
No, to just stop G4, now F4 is hanging.
Sure, I mean, yeah. This is
the bishop is on a good diagonal.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it stops bishop F4. You can play bishop G4, but then he'll play queen C2.
Right. So Varun Rajesh, who is a young boy, I just met him a few days ago. He says, when someone attacks you, how to be calm, and all this big pawn mass rolling towards your king, how to be calm in such a situation?
I always felt people often get scared of attack when they're, not calculating enough or not seeing things clearly. Generally, by nature, we are scared to unknown things. If we know what is happening, then we are not scared. Then we just respond.
Right.
So when somebody attacks you, the first thing is, my first suggestion would be not to panic and just try to respond. Think and respond, as simple as that. The more you calculate, that's the only thing that can actually save you. The more you can think with clarity, that's your only way to get away. I mean, be it with counter attack or be it with proper defense. Basically, you have to simply think more.
Usually people can respond when they have been in such a situation before.
Exactly so.
So the idea could be to maybe solve more positions or look at more such games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also play, since he's a young kid,
Yes.
my first suggestion would be to play various positions. I mean, various kind of different openings, different lines. So, your perception increases. You're not playing only one kind of positions. So that way, at some point, you just, you understand different kind of structure and then you will not be so scared.
Okay, wonderful. Few people have been asking that we recently uploaded a video of you playing against Pragnananda in Blitz, and in the last position when he had 2 pawns coming to your king, you let him checkmate you and you gave a nice smile and you congratulated him. This is the question asked. How did you keep your cool? And like people, when they lose to say a young boy, or of course Pragnananda is very talented, they would get flustered, but you were so calm and collected.
Well, first of all, he played a good game, and I thought, what is the point of playing until the end and then resigning just 2 moves before the mate. I think, it's also good for him that he actually, like, not only wins, but he delivers mate. So I thought that is good for him. And secondly, I think this is the most natural reaction. It is, what is amazing is people are actually thinking that it is something different. Isn't it how all the players should behave? Like, okay, you lose, you congratulate. I mean, chess is a game of gentlemen, yeah?
It's like saying that everyone should be honest in this world, but you see there are no real honest people, and then who is honest, you say, yeah, this guy is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not saying that, when you are pieced down, you play another 30 moves to mate and get mated. No, that is not what I did. But I was trying to defend. I was hoping for some stalemate trick, but then I realized that's not happening. So I allowed him to mate me. And I was quite impressed by, also what made me impressed was that I think prior to this game, he had lost like 6 games in a row or something. Yeah?
Right.
And then with me, he actually played very nicely.
Yes.
So that had to be appreciated.
Fantastic. This is real knowledge. I would say even this World Championship game we are analyzing, this is wonderful. You're gaining knowledge in the Sveshnikov and pawn rolling and stuff. But what Surya just now said is about a good sort of behavior and character on the chessboard, which is never easy to attain. And this is fantastic. In fact, when we uploaded the video, half the comments were about Prag playing a good game and half were about your sportsmanship.
Ah, okay. I mean, you should be aware. I mean, you beat me in badminton and then I congratulate you also. So I always take it easily.
Well, it's one thing to play badminton for pastime, and chess, of course, is what you do full time. So,
well, those who think, like I'm more fit than Sagar and I should not lose in badminton, just to, reveal his secret that he actually played at some sort of state level. He was playing badminton quite professionally and he crushes me very badly. And there are very few chess players who are beating me in badminton. So, and he's definitely one of them.
Thank you so much for saying this. I hope that we can have 1 or 2 more games before I leave, because at chess, clearly I can't beat you.
Right. As long as you're not recording it, we can have it.
Okay, so we have a few more questions. I think one of the people who asked us was Anup, who says, we saw 3 games of Rosolimo and suddenly Sveshnikov, and Fabi is able to play literally all variations, like he's blitzing this out. How is he able to do this? What's your opinion?
2 things. First of all, this has been Caruana's strength for a long time. I mean, he's coming up with novelties in many well-known theoretical positions. And secondly, I think a huge credit goes to Rustam Kazimzadov. I know Rustam since my childhood, and also I worked with him, during all these matches with.
When Vishy was playing. You were on the same team.
We were on the same team for Kramnik Gelfen and Topolov match. So I am very much aware, what Rustam is capable of.
He's very good.
He's very good at finding all these ideas. Finding ideas, not only just one move novelty, but actually creating an entire system. So he's like really good at those. And this has also been Caruana's strength. I mean, Magnus' strength was never really to come up with some tremendous strong novelty and crushing, but this is one of Caruana's strength. So he also got exactly the position, he would like to get in an World Championship match. He has blitzed out first 20 moves. The position is completely dynamic. It's not one of those typical dry positions. So in my opinion, this is one of the best.
So this is his chance here. I think he has definitely been able to put more pressure than what Magnus was able to do in game 5 and 6 when he was white.
Right.
Oh, sorry, 6 and 7.
Right, and especially, has F4 been played already?
Yes, F4 was played by Magnus.
So yeah.
And I hope that Fabi has not blitzed out his move again. I think he's thinking now.
Or maybe he was just roaming around. Yeah, he'll come to board and blitz out his next move. No, because once again it's the same thing. If you know if you have analyzed G5, you are bound to analyze F4, yeah, because Black is not going to play G4. Black is going to play first F4 and then G4. I'm actually quite happy with your move.
Bishop E4.
Bishop E4. Although I feel it's also possible to wait for one more move, because you know what, like if Black plays next move G4, I go Bishop E4. Like let's say just
So
some
B4.
rook a3, let's say.
Okay, rook a3.
And just to have this rook, and also some guy said no rook a3,
Yes.
just to pay tribute to him. So g4, bishop e4, and I still don't see anything coming, because if you play f3, I'll simply take gf3.
Yes, I think it's not so easy to right now create an attack.
Yeah, but having said that, on move 20, bishop e4 feels more natural to stop g4.
Right. I think also bishop g5 here could be a possibility.
Absolutely, absolutely. You would like to
defend f4.
Yeah, I'd like to delay. So,
by the way, I just need to mention one small thing here. Sriram Ganeshan has just contributed 200 rupees via super chat that we have. I would speak about this in more detail, but if anyone would like to contribute any amount, you have three ways of doing it. One is super chat, one is PayPal link and PayU Money link in the description, and all the money that we collect today goes to a very talented young girl of Indian chess, Savita Shri, who became the world under 12 champion just 2 days ago. So she is extremely talented from Chennai, but comes from a very humble background, and whatever you contribute will help her to play more tournaments, to fight it out and become a stronger player. So I will be speaking more about it towards the end of the show, but if anyone would like to do it, now is the time. Yes, so you were saying about bishop e4 and
well, I wanted to play bishop e4 here.
Yes.
To stop all sorts of g4 ideas.
So now let's say bishop e4 is in your preparation. Fabiano has seen this. So if you are like, let's say, preparing this line with white, what are the moves you would consider for black here? Because now it's not so obvious. Now there could be many possibilities what black could do. Yes.
Sure. I mean,
yeah.
Well, bishop g4 comes into mind. Queen e8 comes into mind.
Okay. So these are all the candidate moves that.
These are the first two moves that came to my mind. I mean, I would like to play g4, which is not happening. Bishop f5 also, actually.
Bishop f5. Okay. Yeah. Well, you are sort of exchanging not the bad bishop, yes?
Exactly, because now, you know, the way I am seeing, okay, take, and now I am claiming that your b6 knight is not doing anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And now if I can get something like, let's say, queen e8, queen g6, rook f8, okay, it takes time, but then I will start rolling on king side.
Ah, okay.
And you will actually have to prove where exactly you are targeting me on queen side. So bishop f5 is actually not a bad move.
Okay, it seems counterintuitive at first, yes, because you wanted to always preserve this light squared bishop.
Yeah, but it's like if you have said A, you have to say B. I mean, you played g5, yeah, then you cannot say, you know, I'll play normal, simple stuff.
Correct. So bishop f5, maybe Carlsen could sense this.
I actually quite like bishop f5 now.
And
why not?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you should take this, because after this I'm actually liking my position more. Maybe something like queen c2.
Yeah, to get my queen to e4.
Yeah, because now you are forcing me to take some sort of a decision.
But I must take. There's no way to defend that f5 bishop.
Well, there is bishop g6, but yeah, I will probably take.
Yeah. So take, and then I don't maybe take this.
No, then bishop c3. No, this is definitely going in wrong direction. No, back. Maybe to take on e4. But then your queen is nicely placed. Now it will be more difficult to play e4. So that's why, yeah, the other option was to put the bishop on g4, but then anyway you'll play queen c2.
Yeah. Somehow white's position looks more cohesive. The bishop is coming here, sort of.
Well, one idea could be to start with queen e8.
Mm-hmm.
So that next time when I play bishop g4, queen, like whenever you play queen c2, I have one of these moves, either this or queen h5.
Okay. I somehow don't understand what your pieces on g4 and h5 are going to do. So let me just start my play.
No. Now I can play bishop f5. Now I can trick a little bit, yeah. because now after queen c2, now I can come queen g6, takes, and now I got my dream setup. This is the thing I want
Or
as black.
there are no tactics coming up, yeah.
Well, none that I can see immediately.
And this is black is very happy, and he's sort of saying,
This I'll be,
This guy here-
reasonably I'll be happy here.
I would put a red mark. But rook, let's say I go c5 here. I'm just trying to create some play.
Yeah. So,
Am I fast? Yeah, like because c6, I don't know. Like my knight can be very helpful if I get a c passer.
yeah. And even after f3, it's not clear what I'm saying. After f3, I'm actually threatening something. Yeah? But maybe I had to, I could not take it. Yeah.
No threat, yeah, because
No
fg to
threat,
f5,
yeah.
so
No,
I can
play c6 too.
go here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kirti Kant asks you, of course you can calculate this. Could you please let me know how to improve middle game when we are in 30 seconds and so when we are in not 30 seconds but 30s. The S was for 30s age.
Okay.
And can't memorize variations and cannot recollect patterns.
Is he talking about his problem or my problem?
I was expecting this to come from you, but well, he says it's his problem.
It's my
Kirti
problem
Kant.
too, yeah. So, well, one idea is to play more blitz to solve more positions. I think this is one of the way to improve your middle game. Read more books, so, and constantly solve something or other. And yeah, don't use engine.
Don't use engines. Right
That's-
now also, if you see, this is much more enjoyable and interesting because we are analyzing without an engine.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one thing to look at engine and say G5 is an interesting move. Then you don't feel that enjoyment. But the other thing is like you say G5 and then you see Magnus is also playing
Correct.
that. So that's a different thing.
And of course, Surya is a super strong player, GM and 2600 plus, 2650 plus as well. But I think when you get the right move as what the world champion or his challenger plays, it still feels good.
Sure. I mean, it's not. By the way, this variation, it could actually get very interesting. Yeah? Takes C5.
If this happens, like we would be like.
No, this is too rash. This will not happen. This is way too rash. I was thinking something like this and threatening F3.
Yeah, I want to go C6.
No, C6
now
you cannot
it's
go.
not-
This was my point.
And
So-
if I have to lose a tempo like Rook A C1,
Yeah, then I
you are
thought
happy.
maybe I could be on time, yeah?
but still C6.
Well, now you're like literally playing with fire, yeah? So F2 you want to go here.
We have R&D
now-
Productions who says, hello Suryada, you are my favorite chess player. Well, R&D Productions, you need to tell us your name, but you are his favorite chess player.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
What did you do?
Well, I was thinking if I could take here.
But I take on F5.
Yeah, takes.
And-
This again, we are very, very far and I have.
But Rook F1 check.
Well, rook F1 check, takes, and then you can queen there, yeah? Because this thing
but
is
then
protected.
it's sort of equal, yes?
No, it's. Yeah, I mean.
Okay. You have
Well,
King
there
G2 just spoils the fun.
Yeah. No, but this is clearly not happening. I mean, we are very, very far.
But in a way, you see what White wants to do. He just wants to play B4, Queen C2,
Yeah,
C5.
sure. No, I like Bishop E4. I don't know what he played. Can we see what he
Yes, I think he went Bishop to C3. He
played?
didn't
A move
play.
which we did not consider, but which also. Did he play this fast also?
Well, right now, if the clocks are to be believed, then he took around 10 minutes for this move.
So he was
he's
not-
127 now.
Yeah. So this was the other move to stop G4. The point is, okay, now if you play G4, he wants to take Bishop into E5, I guess. And if you take DE5, Bishop G4 hangs. And after Bishop E5, you take on F3 and he just comes back.
And FG2 is
FG2, there are some million moves here, yeah?
Rook E1, yeah, just,
Well, I would like to play Rook F2.
okay. And
Yeah,
you,
because
you prefer White.
yeah, because
you
F3 I have Rook F3, and if you play Bishop H3, I'll have some sort of something like this. So, and also bishop c3 is in a way very nice because now you are actually trying to play c5, you know.
Right. So just
as quickly
b4
as-
is not required. You can
Well,
just do.
I mean, still c5 he can still take here and then take dc5, but it also gets very wild very quickly. Because
Because-
you would sometimes you wouldn't mind sacrificing this pawn at all. I don't know how to make a like just to show, yeah, like let's say just some.
You want
other
to
move.
make a
Let's say, yeah, I don't know how else to
okay.
make, yeah, like okay, something like this takes.
Yeah, queen takes.
Yeah, queen takes here,
And now bishop c3 is very strong.
and bishop c3 is very strong, and okay, you have rook d1, rook e1. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, of course, black is not going to play h6, but now you have to constantly watch for this c5 threat.
Right.
I'm actually liking more and more white's position here.
Yeah, I mean, and also the fact that he has 1 hour 27 minutes gives confidence that
Yeah.
he's still got things worked out. I mean, here Magnus will have to show his true world champion qualities to come out of this.
This is absolutely
This
certain.
is his test.
This is absolutely certain. I prefer, right now I prefer white. Can we just see what happens for bishop f5?
Hmm. Okay, let's.
I mean, just to make some moves, yeah? Because this feels very logical.
I mean, now your bishop and knight are thinking of coming into d3 square.
Yeah. Also, it's good to get out of, you know, get this bishop out.
Yeah. Okay, just this might sound a little bit basic, but this is bad, yes? Horrible.
Yeah.
You just get. What is the reason? But I mean, I know that.
You're making me speechless. I mean, with one move, you allowed bishop c5, e4.
Okay.
This bishop was not doing anything at e7. No, this is not-
horrible.
no,
This is not how world champions, world championship
this is not
challenger
how
plays.
anybody plays.
Okay, so well,
I mean,
let's-
unless there is, I mean, if you had some very specific tactical justification.
yes,
Yeah.
it would have made. Okay, c5 doesn't work because of knight
Well,
f3.
now c5, I could not make it work because c5, okay, he will take. How do I take? First of all, rook f3. I also have,
g4.
I have to watch out for bishop g4.
I'll take the queen.
Takes here, yeah.
And now it's much better than the bishop on c8. You got things developed. So
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to make some sort of d6, queen d5 works, but d6 he will play queen takes d6 also.
and then rook d1.
Well, queen c6, this was my problem. I mean, as well, here probably you can also play just queen g6 and queen g6 and queen f7.
And you don't queen d5 doesn't.
No, you have to
really work.
prepare. You have to prepare c5. c5 doesn't work here.
And now I can't do bishop e4 things, yeah, because how do I defend this move? I want to exchange somehow these bishops, but it looks difficult now.
I'm not even sure why you should exchange that bishop.
This seems like a constant threat. This
Well,
pawn
g4 is not a threat right now. g4 you have bishop into e5.
okay. So I should I go b4 and start preparing c5?
Let's say, yeah, one possibility.
Yeah, this looks really interesting. By the way, Arvind Ramchandran says, how did you feel after beating Vichy at Tata Steel Chess?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling, of course. First of all, when I was playing him, it felt very special for me, that particular game. Not that I won, but just the fact that I was playing him. I mean, of course, he has been my childhood hero, and like everybody's, yeah, like most of the Indian chess players. And it was very surprising that, you know, when this press conference took place, first time for this Tata Steel. So Anand came to Calcutta and we were hanging out. And at some point, I think someone asked him, so this will be the first tournament where you will be playing against Nihal and Prag. And Anand said, yeah, this will be the first time. And I was standing beside him. And I told him, you know, right, we are also going to play first time. And he was like, seriously? This was really shocking because I have been working with him for, you know, such a long time. We played so many training games, but we actually never played a tournament game. So just playing with him was very, very special for me. And of course, winning was special too.
Sure, you played a very nice game. Sanjeev Gunin says, what books do you recommend for pawn structures?
Well, my friend Sam Shankalan wrote a book very recently, which I can see right now.
It's here.
Yeah,
A beautiful library, by the way.
Yeah. Well, small steps for giant.
Small steps to giant improvement.
So,
Yes.
I can promote that book for Sam. No, and Sam is a very. He's a guy who explains really well. Sam, if you're listening, so he really explains well. So, that is one of the book I can recommend. One of the recent books.
And I should tell the viewers that if you would like to get that book, you can get it from Chess Base India shop. It is the latest release and at a discounted price. So, yeah, that's where they can get it.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is Yogesh Sunar is, would you like to explain me which is the best player between Tal and Fischer? I know these are some random questions, but it's this is the fun, yeah. Like someone is talking about how should I improve at 30s, and suddenly someone who's sitting in some other corner of the world says, "What do you think about Tal and Fischer?"
Well, it's very difficult to compare players from different generation, and yeah, like Tal Fischer, they at least played among each other number of times. It also depends on style. What I can say about Tal, what amazed me recently, when Ding had this streak of being unbeaten for 96 games, and people were saying that he broke the record. There is one thing that Tivyakov had one record, but at, let's say, at very top level. They were saying this record Ding broke was of Mikhail Tal. If you had given me 50 chance, I would have never said Mikhail Tal. I mean, Tal is the last player actually, like literally the last player you expect him to be unbeaten for such a long period of time, purely because of his style. I mean, he plays, such an attacking game, so many sacrifices. Yet he was the person who was unbeaten for 96. So it's not about the style, but it's about the resilience. It's about the resource, how resourceful you are, what is your tenacity.
I think he sort of had a grasp on the psychology and the game of chess. So he could sense that now things are getting out of hand, I need to do something. And
absolutely. I mean, first few choice would have been, Karpov, Petrosyan, Botvinnik, Smyslov. I mean, you expect these people will be unbeaten for a longer period of time, but no, it was Mikhail Tal. So, no, for me, it's very difficult to answer this question, this Fischer and Tal. All I can say is my personal favorite is Fischer.
Okay. We also have one viewer who said Meher Zainab, she or he, I'm not sure, but from Pakistan. So we have our neighbors also watching. Chewang Dorji, shout out to you for contributing 40 rupees. Thank you so much. I think we have some more questions here, but let me just see if any more moves have been played. I think after Bishop C3, Magnus is in the think tank mode. Kirti Kant has contributed 400 rupees. Thank you so much, Kirti Kant. This is great contribution. Okay, Shlok Dikshit asks, as calculations are better than intuitive skills, but sometimes it becomes very messy to calculate every variation, that too in time troubles. So suggest some ways we can rely on natural way. Maybe he's saying, how should we rely on our intuition, because calculation becomes messy at some point.
So it's impossible to calculate everything. You have to rely on your intuition at times. I mean, you should, actually two very important things to know is when to calculate and when to stop calculation. And this is a problem everybody faces at different levels.
So I would like to give a good example. After bishop into e5 in this position, let's say,
you can calculate 20 more moves.
Yes. So, but a player like me would be like, okay, here queen e2, bishop I want to put on e4.
No, Sagar, you will not do in a tournament game. I know you.
But Surya would definitely say this is bad. Yeah, this is sort of intuition in a way.
Bishop e5 is not a bad move, let's say if you had b4 and c5 here,
Right.
and you are getting something immediately, but if you're not getting something immediately,
I agree.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, Pratyush Das, we are right now in Kolkata. I'm right now at Surya's place in Kolkata. Uh, King Shuk Debnath says you were my Orkut friend since childhood. So
Okay.
Orkut, like
Orkut,
I
yeah.
don't even remember when
Yeah.
that was. Vishal Kamath says how to annotate chess games. This is big problem I see in people. They don't know how to analyze or annotate games.
Yeah, this is really an annoying thing to see. Most of the chess websites, commentators, they are just switching on engine and then they're trying to annotate. That is not the way you're supposed to annotate. You're supposed to think for yourself. And even when, most important thing is, even when there is a blunder by a certain player, it makes no sense to write, he did not see this move. It makes a lot of sense trying to understand what he actually missed and why he missed. Well, I was analyzing for ChessBase in Olympiad. Yeah? Like
Yes.
number of times there were mistakes, mistakes from players like Kramnik and so on. But I would I would try to think like why they missed this move, and then the logic becomes clear. Because with computer engine you cannot analyze games.
So I would like to share a small sort of anecdote here. Surya was analyzing games in Kolkata for the Olympiad. I was in Batumi with Amruta, and every morning when I would wake up, I would have these sort of positions that were sent by Surya, and in every round he would go through the games and select some 9 to 10 positions. Of how much time would it take you to do that? Let's say.
It was taking quite some time. Well, one thing helped that I was also following the games live. So I was also spotting moments. Yeah? So then it gets a little bit easier. But if I am not following the games live, then it is like really difficult.
Also, I was imagining that for him, it's more like when you see a position, you can instantly understand that yeah, here is a tactic. Sort of here is a puzzle which can be very nice as a training position. I think.
Right, yeah. I mean, even this particular game, yeah, I think all these moments where he went bishop d2, black went g5, when white played bishop c3,
Yes.
eh, all this has got some subtleties. So these are the moments which can be very
Sure.
instructive.
Very nice game. So a natural question to ask is, do you coach? Because clearly you are like perfect material for a coach.
Well, sometimes yes, but not in recent times.
You're now right now
Right now
just
I'm just
a
coaching
full-time
myself.
player and you're playing. So what would be the next events that you would play?
Asian Championship is my next major event, so which will be at Philippines, and I'm really waiting that at some point I'll get some news for World Rapid and Blitz.
Okay.
And also there is a tournament in China which I'm planning to play.
So you have a packed schedule before this year ends.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really amazing that Surya has taken out time from his very very busy schedule to explain us the intricacies of this game, and we couldn't have been luckier because the game is so interesting.
Game is very very interesting. What I'm thinking right now is like apart from Bishop F5, what
So,
else
so,
is
so
going
tell
on?
us one thing. When you are saying all of this, you are actually thinking of moves as well in your
What
mind.
else I'm supposed to do?
Does it happen to you like you're talking to your wife or your parents and some position is working in the
Yeah,
back?
they are used to by now. So
Okay. So yeah, tell us what you were thinking.
well,
here.
no, I was trying to figure out what are the other options. I'm sure Magnus is thinking. He has number of different ideas because apart from Bishop F5, what are the other obvious moves that comes in mind? G4 is not working.
Bishop F6, I think. Yeah.
Bishop F6 is one possibility. Queen E8 is one possibility. Also, Bishop F6 doesn't really threaten G4, so I can probably play B4 C5 now. Yeah, G4 clearly doesn't work. there is absolutely no tactics here. I mean, you
Yeah,
get
this
this,
doesn't seem.
well, you get this check, but yeah, like I'm so solid. So probably one of this move, bishop f5 or bishop f6.
So when
Or maybe queen
Magnus is
e8.
thinking a lot, at that point the natural reaction of all the kibitzers or people who are watching is like, what is he thinking? You know, like, but actually he must be thinking something really important.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you have to make some sort of decision. Now, I realize that queen e8 is not exactly an option, because why would you even want to calculate this move
Right.
unnecessarily? Although,
Ah,
well, no, it doesn't work. But yeah, you know, just out of instinct, I saw this is, I cannot trap the queen, so
yes.
it doesn't work. So anyway, queen e8 is not a move. Bishop f6 is something that I will think of. Bishop f5 is the other move I'll think of. And I am really surprised what else can come. Is it think?
No, everything else looks sort of packed. So
Yeah.
you can't really move your rook and.
Well, unless you can make somehow, if you can make this thing work, because you are getting g4 with a tempo,
doesn't seem
but
right.
it doesn't feel right. Although there is some argument, yeah, like where do you put your queen?
Omkar Chakradev says something very interesting. He asks that if you can't refute bishop f5, what else would you be thinking? I mean, why not make the move?
Why not play bishop f5? Yeah.
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 I mean, Magnus would see this position move instantly, and nothing's wrong. Why not make it? What is he thinking?
Well, one question is what is black threatening after bishop f5? This is what I was trying to figure out, because you are not exactly threatening
BD3.
bishop d3. Yeah, because let's say I play something here. Bishop d3 is not a threat because I take, you take, I come back, and your bishop is trapped.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a threat.
Nice. So that was very nice.
Yeah, and knight d3 is very empty. This knight is not going anywhere. You ideally would like to play g4, and by playing bishop f5, you have actually not created the threat of g4, because
of
anyway I
bishop
have the same idea. So it's possible that Magnus is not looking for a move, but for a, for a concrete plan.
So what
Like,
after bishop f5,
What after
b4?
bishop f5? Bishop f5, b4. Then what
But
do
maybe
I do?
queen e8 now works.
Now
yeah?
queen e8, but now already this is possible. Yeah, and I don't know. I can take, or maybe, yeah, I can take. Still, it is not clear.
One thing I would like to tell our viewers is that when guys like Magnus or top players, top 10 players in the world think, they're definitely thinking something good or something interesting. You can't really say that he must be, having a bad day or an off day. I think
For sure, and this is also the moment to think.
Yeah.
Because if you cannot create enough counterplay, soon white will play b4, c5, and he'll just roll on queen side. So this is the exact moment to actually stop and come up with some concrete setup.
But we won't be surprised if Magnus plays bishop f5 and then next few of his moves very quickly.
This is very much possible. Well, at some point he has to play. Yeah? From what I understand, he has got 49 minutes. He played bishop f5.
He played bishop f5.
Yeah, this is what we have been also talking about. Yeah? Bishop f5 is most natural.
So let me just, yes.
Yeah, and I guess now Fabi will also think for some time. I mean, if bishop c3 was not
You don't
prepared.
think still he's in his preparation?
Well, he
It
thought
would
for
be
bishop c3, yeah?
Sort of, yeah, he thought for 10 minutes. So yeah, now he must be on his own finally.
And if Fabi plays bishop e5, then I'll give you dinner.
Well, okay. Well, you already promised me dinner. Give me something else.
So you had dinner just now.
So perhaps,
Well, b4 comes into mind. I actually wanted to bypass b4. I wanted to play c5 as quickly as possible, but it somehow did not. I can't make it work.
yeah. Okay, so I guess before we take leave, I just would like to say that this live session which we are having has been done on 2 counts. One is that we would like you all to interact with one of the finest players of Indian chess and learn from how he analyzes chess, which I hope that you were able to do with Surya being here. And the second thing was that we wanted to raise some funds for on this live stream will go to make Savita into play more tournaments, maybe do more stuff. So please don't hesitate in doing that. Uh, okay, so here, Surya, I think we should right now call it a day.
Yeah.
But before that, I think I guess if I hear the questions chats properly, when I was showing the pictures, the audio went off. That's what people said. Perhaps it was a technical glitch during that audio frame. But I would like to say the pictures that you saw right now were of Savita Shri, the current under 12 world champion. Just 2 days ago, she won the title, and she is one of the brightest stars of Indian chess. She comes from a humble background. Financially, she's facing a tough time. So, if you guys would like to, please donate here through the links given in the description, and all this money will go to Savita. The last picture was of her father. If you just search Savita Shri on our YouTube channel, Chessbase India, you will find the interview of her father who describes the various difficulties that they are going through. The girl is being trained by RB Ramesh, who is India's one of best coaches, and he himself says that the girl needs more training, more support in order to become better. So I hope that you guys will support her. Surya, I think getting support at young age is extremely important.
Oh,
yes?
absolutely, absolutely. And that's also the only way to improve, to play more tournaments, to get more training, which again requires financial help. And in India, we have loads of talented players. To start with, let's say Pragnananda would not have become Pragnananda if he did not get certain amount of
Yes.
support. Or same goes with Nihal and then previous generation, Arvind Chidambaram or Murli. Everybody needs this support. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Rightly said. So before we leave, I'm going to just check. No new moves have been played. Bishop f5 was the last move.
So I was thinking again, yeah.
Well, your brain doesn't stop.
So okay, give me the chessboard. Where was it?
Yes. So this is the.
Yeah. So I was thinking if this is an option or not,
Okay.
because you're sort of directly threatening here, and
You might want to take with the rook or with the bishop.
either way, yeah. Like rook on e1. There are two disadvantages. One is knight d3. This is attacked, and I was thinking if I can put this rook here.
Ah, nice.
So my point is, okay, if you take, then I take this, I'm very happy, I get this d5 square. But then I sort of thought maybe you can simply attack my rook here. But then it gets complicated. Yeah, I also have all sorts of queen d4 ideas. And yeah, this queen d4 is just killing, because yeah, this will lead to mate. So this rook e1, rook e6 was interesting. But then rook e1 has a disadvantage that you can play, let's say, g4, and now our previous idea to pull back the bishop might not work because of f2 check, and because of this rook on e1 there is, and again once again our knight is completely out of
But
place.
let's go king g1 and then I want to do like bishop e1, queen d4. Does it work?
No, so this is c3 is
yeah,
hanging.
c3 is
No,
hanging, yeah.
but g4, bishop e5, gf3, the point is now I can take here. And this is what I was trying to figure out, because now f2, now I can take here, and somehow I'm still in control. Bishop h4, I have g3, which if all this hypothesis is correct, that is g4 doesn't work, and in knight d3, rook e6 is an option. It is definitely an option because I'm also restricting. And bishop e6, d6, this position I don't mind playing. Then rook e1 is also an interesting move to ponder about. There is also, as we said, there is also b4, and there could be many other moves because black is not threatening anything, let's say, immediately.
Well, just as we are about to leave, you showed like really a nice variation, rook e1 and this entire idea with g4, how a small rook move changes the dynamics of the entire position.
Right.
We don't want you to go, basically. It's like everyone, you are giving such great analysis, but guys, we have to take your leave. It was fantastic having Surya here. I'm sure we'll do it again very soon. Thanks a lot for your time, and please do ensure that you contribute, if you enjoyed this show, to Savita Shree's chess career. Thanks, Surya.
Thanks, Sagar.